Hello everyone, welcome to the course Heat Transfer. This is an undergraduate course for the students of Mechanical Engineering Department. Myself, Dr. Anol Ranjan Sengupta. I am an assistant professor of Mechanical Engineering Department from JIS College of Engineering, Kollane, West Bengal. And I am going to discuss this subject with all of you. Okay, so let us start this subject. Okay, so as you can see, the course name is Heat Transfer and the course code it is ME501 in our college. And these are the prerequisites, that is thermodynamics and fluid mechanics. So the basics of the thermodynamics and fluid mechanics should be very clear to everyone. Now there are four different course outcomes for this subject of heat transfer. Number one course outcome, it is the understand the basic laws and constraints of heat transfer to analyze problems involving steady state or transient heat conduction in simple geometries. Next, the course outcome number two, it is the survey the analytical solutions of free and forced convection problems to apply in modern research sectors of heat and mass transfer. Next, number three, it is evaluate the radiation heat transfer between black body and grey body surfaces and obtain numerical solutions of combined mode heat transfer problems in practice. And last, number four, it is analyze the effectiveness of several type of heat exchanger and develop skills for industrial design solutions regarding boiling and condensation. So from these four different course outcomes, you can see that as we know that there are three main modes of heat transfer. Number one is conduction, which is basically related to the course outcome one. Here we will study in details all the things, different formula, different fundamental concepts of the steady state, transient state of the heat conduction. Next, in the course outcome 2, it is mainly related to the convection part, and for this the fluid mechanics concept will be very much required. Next, for the number 3 course outcome, it is mainly related to the radiation part, and for the number 4 we will study in details the heat exchanger, along with that the boiling and condensation part. Let us move to the next page. Here you can see the syllabus it is given in our college. So here we are having total 6 module. First module is basically related to the conduction part, and these are the syllabus which we will study in details. Next, for the convection part, this is the syllabus given. Here we will study the different kinds of convection, the dimensionless parameter for the forced and free convection, all these things. Next, number 3 module, it is basically related to the radiation part and different laws related to the radiation, different types of body like black body, gray body, white body, all these type of things, different view factors, radiosity, different terminology we will study in this radiation module in details. Next, number 4, it is basically related to the heat exchanger term. So here we will study in details the different types of heat exchanger, different kinds of heat exchanger like parallel flow, counter flow, shell and tube heat exchanger. All these things we will study in details. Next, what is LMTD, then epsilon NTU method. So all these things like LMTD is log mean temperature difference, or NTU is number of transfer units. So all these things we will study in our later lectures. Next, number 5 module, it is the boiling and condensation. So the different boiling and condensation, heat transfer, or pool boiling curve, all these things we will study in details. And last module, it is the mass transfer. So here we will study the introduction to the mass transfer and the similarity between heat and mass transfer. So what is the difference in between the heat and mass transfer, we will see in the later lectures. Now these are the textbooks and reference books, these are given. So this is for your own study. You need to collect the suitable books, and for that you can discuss with me. So let us start the lecture 1 of this module. That is the first module, the lecture 1 of the heat transfer. So before going into the details, first we need to be very clear in between the difference of heat and temperature. So what is that actually? So in case of the heat transfer problems that we will study in this subject or in this course, we often interchangeably use the terms heat and temperature. So what is the difference in between them? So there is a distinct difference in between these two. So what is temperature? It is a measure of the amount of energy possessed by the molecules of a substance. Okay. So the usual symbol for the temperature, it is capital T, which is known to us, and the unit for the SI unit, and the unit of this temperature, it is Celsius and Kelvin in the temperature scale. Now this was the concept of temperature, but what is heat? Heat is the energy in transit or the energy in transmission. So spontaneously from our thermodynamics concept, we know that heat flows from a hotter body to a colder body or a colder one. And the symbol of this heat, it is capital Q. In some book you can get small q also. And in case of the SI system, the common units for measuring heat are the joule and calorie. So this is the main difference between heat and temperature. So heat is the energy in transit or in transmission, but the temperature is the measure of the amount of energy possessed by the molecules of the substance in consideration. Okay, so let us move to the next page. Before going into details of this course heat transfer, we must have a clear idea regarding what is heat transfer. In the previous slide, we have studied or we have discussed that heat is the energy in transit. Now, what is heat transfer? So, the energy in transit, that is heat, which is happening due to the temperature difference. So, this is the basic concept of the heat transfer. Now, what is the difference in between thermodynamics and heat transfer? So, from our basic concept, we can say that thermodynamics tells us how much heat is transferred, how much work is done, and the final state of the system. But heat transfer will tell us how and with what modes. The modes of the heat transfer we will discuss in the later classes. And so how with what modes heat is transferred, and at what rate heat is transferred, and temperature distribution inside the body. So let me tell you with one example the difference between thermodynamics and heat transfer. So let us consider the cooling of a hot steel bar which is placed in a water bath. Okay. So thermodynamics may be used to predict the final equilibrium temperature or the final state of the system. System means the steel bar water combination. However, this thermodynamics will not help us to find out how long it will take to reach this final equilibrium condition or what the temperature of the bar will be after a certain length of time before the equilibrium condition of the system is reached or attained. But heat transfer may be used to predict the temperatures of both the bar and the water as a function of time. Okay, so that means the rate at which heat is being transferred, that we can predict with this concept of heat transfer. So this heat transfer theory, it combines thermodynamics and rate equations together. So what are the rate equations we will study later. Okay, so this is the basic difference in between the thermodynamics and heat transfer. So let us move to the next page. So what are the different applications of heat transfer? So the energy production and conversion in case of steam power plant, solar energy conversion, etc. Next, refrigeration and air conditioning for various domestic applications like ovens, stoves, toaster, etc. Next, the cooling of electronic equipment, manufacturing or materials processing like welding, casting, soldering. Some of these you have gone through in your first year workshop. Next, automobiles or aircraft design. All these things you will study in IC engine, automobile, and the gas dynamics subject. And lastly, the nature, that is weather or climate, etc. So these are the different applications of heat transfer. So let us move to the next page. So till now we have discussed the basic concept of heat transfer. Now what are the different modes of heat transfer? There are basically three different modes of heat transfer. Number one is conduction, number two is convection, and number three is radiation. So what are these three? So in case of conduction, it needs a matter or a medium. So the molecular phenomenon or the diffusion process, and without bulk motion of the matter. So these are the three important points related to the conduction. Next, what is convection? It is the heat carried away by bulk motion of the fluid. So it needs fluid matter. Okay. And in case of radiation, this radiation, it happens other than conduction or convection. So that means what? No medium is required for the propagation. And transmission of energy, it happens by electromagnetic waves. So in this diagram you can see by direct contact of the two different surfaces, the conduction is happening. In case of convection, energy is transferred by the mass motion of molecules. And in case of radiation, energy is transferred by electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic wave, which is known as quanta also. So let us move to the next page where we will discuss all these three different modes of heat transfer in details. So what is conduction? So the definition is like that: it is the transfer of heat from one part of a substance to another part of the same substance, or from one substance to another in physical contact with it without appreciable displacement of molecules forming the substance. So that means the physical contact in between the two different substance, or from one part of a substance to another part of the same substance, the physical contact is required in case of the conduction. So an example is given: an ice cube will soon melt if we hold it in our hand. The heat is being conducted from our hand into the ice cube. So it is a real life example for the conduction. Now this conduction, it happens in different mediums in case of solid, liquid and gaseous. So how the conduction happens? So in case of solid, there are two different mechanisms. First one, it is written as a lattice. What it is written, it is due to the combination of vibrations of the molecules in a lattice and the energy transport by free electrons, that is solids in metallic form. So what happens? Two different mechanisms are required. So in the first case, by lattice vibration, there what happens, the faster moving molecules or atoms in the hottest part of a body transfer the heat by impacts of some of their energy to the adjacent molecules. Okay, so this is the case of lattice vibration. Now for the second part, by transport of free electrons. So there what happens, the free electrons provide an energy flux in the direction of decreasing temperature. So for metals, what happens, it is given written as solids in metallic form. So what happens for metals, especially for good electrical conductors, the electronic mechanism is responsible for the major portion of the heat flux except at low temperature. So these are the two different mechanisms in case of solid. Now in case of gases and liquids, Conduction is due to the collision and diffusion of the molecules during their random motion. So what happens there basically in case of gases, the mechanism of heat conduction it is not very complex. The kinetic energy of a molecule is a function of temperature. This is from our basic concept we know. Now these molecules are in a continuous random motion exchanging energy and momentum. Now when a molecule from the high temperature region collides with a molecule from a low temperature region, then it loses the energy by collisions. So this thing happen in case of the gases. Now in case of liquid what happens? Then the mechanism of heat it is nearer to the mechanism of the conduction in case of gases. However, the molecules these are more closely spaced and the intermolecular forces then come into play in case of the liquids. So this is the concept of conduction in case of the solid, gaseous and liquid medium. Okay. Now the rate equation. So in case of these three different modes of heat transfer, that is conduction, convection and radiation, there are three basic rate equation or the three basic equations that we will study here. In case of conduction, the equation is known as Fourier's law of heat conduction. Then in case of convection, the name is Newton's law of cooling. And in case of the radiation, the name is Stefan Boltzmann law. Now, in case of conduction, let us study the Fourier's law of heat conduction, that is the rate equation. Now, this is the statement of the Fourier's law of heat conduction. So, the statement is like that. The rate of flow of heat through a simple homogeneous solid is directly proportional to the area of the section at right angles to the direction of heat flow and to change of temperature with respect to the length of the path of the heat flow. So the mathematical representation is like that: Q proportional to A multiplied by dt dx. So what is this Q? It is the heat flow through the simple homogeneous body per unit time, and the unit is capital W, which is what? Now capital A is the surface area of the heat flow. The unit is meter square. Dt, it is the temperature difference of the phases of the homogeneous solid which is having the thickness dx through which the heat is flowing, and the unit is degree centigrade or Kelvin, and dx it is the thickness of the body in the direction of flow. The unit is meter. Now the mathematical representation, it is Q equals to minus k dt dx. So what is this minus k? This k is actually the constant of proportionality which is known as the thermal conductivity of the body. Now why is the negative sign we have got here? What is the meaning of this negative sign? In the right hand side you can see there is one diagram given, t versus x. So what is this actually? The negative sign, it is to take care of the decreasing temperature along with the direction of increasing thickness in the direction of heat flow. So here you can see in the positive x direction the temperature gradient it is negative. So that's why we have put this minus sign in the Fourier's law, so that ultimately the heat flow through the body per unit time it will be positive. Okay, so this is the concept behind the negative sign in case of the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Now in the Fourier's law of heat conduction we have got one term, that is K, which is known as the thermal conductivity. So how to find the unit for this thermal conductivity? From the Fourier's law or from the mathematical representation of the Fourier's law, we can write this K equals to Q by A into dx dt. Now if the value of K equals to 1, when Q equals to 1, capital A equals to 1 and dt dx equals to 1. Now after one or two steps we will get the unit of K as watt per meter Kelvin or watt per meter degree centigrade. So from this concept we can write the definition of the thermal conductivity, which is the amount of energy conducted through a body of unit area and unit thickness in unit time when the difference in temperature between the phases causing heat flow is unit temperature difference. So this is the definition of the thermal conductivity of a material. Okay, so we can say that materials with high thermal conductivities, these are good conductors of heat, whereas the materials with low thermal conductivities, these are good thermal insulators. Okay, so in the right hand side of this page there is a table given for different materials and their thermal conductivity values. So some of these values will be required to solve the numericals based on this Fourier's law of heat conduction. So let us move to the next page. Now we will get another concept of thermal resistance. In basic electrical we have studied this Ohm's law, where we have seen that current equals to potential difference by electrical resistance. So V equals to IR, that formula for Ohm's law we have studied in basic electrical. Now if we represent our Fourier's equation or Fourier's law in this way, so how to represent that one? Q equals to dt by dx by k. Now what we can see, that the quantity dx by k, it is known as the thermal conduction resistance. This quantity dx by k, it is known as the thermal conduction resistance. Okay, so how we have got this one? It is basically we have compared these two different equations. Okay, so one is the Ohm's law and another is the mathematical representation of the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay, so by comparing these two equations or these two analogous equations, we have got the concept of the thermal resistance or the thermal conduction resistance, which is dx by Ka. Now the reciprocal of this thermal resistance, it is called the thermal conductance. Okay, so this was the first mode of heat transfer, that is the conduction, that we have discussed till now. Let us move to the next mode of heat transfer, that is known as the convection. So what is this actually? This convection, it is the transfer of heat within a fluid. So the fluid medium, it is needed in the case of this convection. So it is the transfer of heat within a fluid by mixing of one portion of the fluid with another. So this is the definition of the convection. So this convection is possible only in a fluid medium, and it is directly linked with the transport of the medium itself. And the effectiveness of heat transfer by convection, it depends largely upon the mixing motion of the fluid. So some example is given: hot air rising, cooling and falling. So these are the example of the convection currents. Now there are different classification of the convection. Number one is free or natural convection, which is induced by the buoyancy forces. Now the concept of the buoyancy we have studied in our fluid mechanics. And number two is the forced convection. It is induced by the external means. So what is this free convection or free or natural convection? So this free convection, it occurs when the fluid circulates by virtue of the natural differences in densities of hot and cold fluids. So what happens? The denser portions of the fluid move downward because of the greater force of gravity as compared with the force on the less dense. Okay, so this is the concept of the free or natural convection. And in case of the forced convection, when the work is done to blow or pump the fluid, that is the external means is required. So in that case, the convection, it is known as the forced convection. Now this convection, it may occur with phase change, that is boiling and condensation. So this is related to this concept of boiling and condensation we will study while discussing the fifth module. So let us move to the next page. So what I have said earlier, that the rate equation in case of convection, it is known as the Newton's law of cooling. So what is this actually, this Newton's law of cooling? The rate equation for the convective heat transfer between a surface and an adjacent fluid, it is known as the Newton's law of cooling. So the mathematical representation of this Newton's law, it is Q equals to HA and the temperature difference or the temperature gradient. So Q is the rate of conductive heat transfer, capital A is the area exposed to heat transfer, Ts is the surface temperature, and Tf is the fluid temperature, and small h, it is the coefficient of convective heat transfer. So in case of conduction, we have got thermal conductivity, and in case of this convection, now we have got this coefficient of convective heat transfer. So the unit of this convective heat transfer, coefficient of convective heat transfer, it is watt per meter square degree centigrade. And the definition of this convective heat transfer, it is the amount of heat transmitted for a unit temperature difference between the fluid and unit area of surface in the unit time. And in the right hand side of this page, you can see the convective thermal resistance. So from our basic concept of the analogous, we have derived or we have represented this convection thermal resistance 1 by HA. Okay, so let us move to the next page. So these are the typical values of this convective heat transfer coefficient for the different classification of the convection. In case of free convection, forced convection, and boiling and condensation, the different values, these are given here. Now let us come to the third mode of heat transfer, which is known as the radiation. So what is this radiation actually? This radiation heat transfer, it involves the transfer of heat by electromagnetic radiation that arises due to the temperature of the body, and this radiation does not need matter. So this radiation heat transfer, here the heat transfer occurs through space or matter by means other than conduction or convection, where we needed some medium for propagation, but in case of this radiation, no matter is needed for the propagation. So what happens here? In case of this radiation heat, it is thought of as an electromagnetic wave or quanta, where an emanation of the same nature as light and radio waves. Now what happens here in case of this radiation? From our basic concept, you know that all bodies in this real life, all bodies radiate heat. So a transfer of heat by radiation occurs because hot body, it emits more heat than it receives, and a cold body, it receives more heat than it emits. Now this radiant energy or the radiation heat transfer, being an electromagnetic radiation, it requires no medium for propagation, and it will pass through the vacuum because it does not require any medium, so it will pass through the vacuum. So what may be the example of this radiation heat transfer? So here you can see the heat from the sun warming our face. So it is one example of our daily life where the radiation heat transfer occurs. Now the rate equation for this radiation, it is the Stefan-Boltzmann law. In case of conduction, we have studied the Fourier's law of heat conduction. In case of convection, we have discussed the Newton's law of cooling. Now in case of the radiation, it is the Stefan-Boltzmann law. So what is this Stefan-Boltzmann law? This Stefan-Boltzmann law, It states that the emissive power of a black body, it is directly proportional to the fourth power of its absolute temperature. So what is the mathematical representation? It is given here, capital E equals to sigma then epsilon Ts to the power 4. So this epsilon, it is the emissivity, which is a surface property. This epsilon equals to 1 in case of a black body. So this, what is this black body, gray body, different types of kinds of body we'll discuss while studying this radiation chapter in details. Now this sigma, it is the Stefan-Boltzmann constant, and there is a constant value for this. It is 5.67 into 10 to the power minus 8 watt per meter square k to the power 4. Okay, so in case of these three different modes of heat transfer, conduction, convection and radiation, we have discussed three different equations. In case of conduction, it is known as the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay, and in case of this Fourier's law of heat conduction, actually some assumptions are taken. So what are those assumptions? So the conduction of heat takes place under steady state condition. Okay, so this is the number one assumption. Then this heat flow, it is unidirectional. There is no internal heat generation. So, and the boundary surfaces, these are isothermal in character. So this isothermal, adiabatic, all this different terminology we have got in our thermodynamics. The temperature gradient, it is constant. The temperature profile, it is also linear. So these are some assumptions that is being considered in case of the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay. Next, in case of convection, we have studied the equation as the Newton's law of cooling. There we have got the convective heat transfer coefficient. Now this convective heat transfer coefficient, it depends on different factors. So what are these factors? These are thermodynamic and transport properties like viscosity, density, specific heat, etc. So what is this viscosity? It is, in general, you can say it is the resistance to flow. And this concept of viscosity, Newton's law of viscosity, all these things we have studied in our fluid mechanics. Next, the nature of the fluid flow, geometry of the surface, and the prevailing thermal conditions. So these are some factors on which the value of the convective heat transfer coefficient, it depends. Okay, and in case of the radiation, we have studied the Stefan-Boltzmann law, and here we have got one constant, that is the Stefan-Boltzmann constant. Okay, so up to this we have discussed in our lecture 1 of our module 1, and we have gone through the concept of the thermodynamics and heat transfer, the difference in between them, then different modes of heat transfer, different classifications of those modes, then the different rate equations related to the different modes of heat transfer. Okay, so in our next lecture we will study the different equations and different problems we will solve there. Okay, so this is the end of our lecture 1. Okay.